Hey everyone, welcome back. You ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling something pretty unexpected.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Worship.
Mm-hmm.
But before you click away thinking this is all about hymns and incense,
Right.
it's not. We're going way deeper than that. We're exploring this idea that there's really no neutral ground
No neutral ground.
when it comes to what we're devoting ourselves to.
Exactly.
We're diving into a text called Who Are You Really Worshiping?
Okay.
And let me tell you, it poses a question that really, really stopped me in my tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Is it possible that we're offering, sacrifices to modern day idols without even realizing it?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. And the devotional starts off with this verse from 1 Corinthians 10.20. And it's talking about pagan sacrifices.
Okay.
And it got me thinking, how do these ancient practices connect to our lives today? It seems so far removed.
You're right. I mean, building altars to idols, who does that anymore?
Yeah.
But this whole idea of sacrifice, the devotional, is suggesting it's more relevant than ever.
Oh, yeah.
How so?
So what's really interesting is how the devotional takes this idea of idols and expands on it.
Okay.
We're not talking about literal statues anymore.
Yeah.
The real idols. The real idols in our lives are things like, that constant chase for a promotion at work, always having to have the latest gadget, the newest phone, the newest, whatever it is.
I feel personally attacked.
Or even just relying solely on ourselves to solve all of our problems. It's anything that just completely consumes our thoughts, dictates all of our choices, and it has the potential to overshadow something way more meaningful.
So basically what you're saying is we could be walking around as idol worshipers and not even know it.
Yeah, I think so. And the devotional kind of hints at that.
What are some of those red flags that jumped out at you?
Well, one that really stood out was this whole discussion of money in Matthew 6.24. And it highlights this conflict that we can have, this conflict of serving two masters.
Two masters.
You can't be fully devoted to God and to wealth.
Huh.
One will inevitably take priority. And it just makes you wonder, how much of our time, how much of our energy are we pouring into this altar of financial security?
It's so true. I mean, think about it. How much time do we spend, all of us, worrying about money, planning for the future, constantly working towards that next raise?
Yeah.
Could it be that money really has become like a dominant force in our lives?
I think for many people, it's easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
And the devotional really seems to be emphasizing that it's not about having money. It's not about, being rich or being poor. It's about what has our focus. Where is our heart? What are our priorities? What do we value above all else? These are the big questions that I think is really prompting us to ask.
It's making me think about that, saying, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, it's more like, put your heart where your worship is.
I love that.
So it's not about just going through the motions, checking off the boxes of religious rituals.
No, not at all.
It's about recognizing what really has a hold of our hearts.
Yeah.
And then consciously choosing to align our actions with our deepest values.
All right. Yes, and that's where I think that prayer in the devotional comes in.
Okay.
Because it's not all doom and gloom, It's a reminder that we have the power to choose.
We have the power.
We have the power to choose where our worship goes.
That's a powerful thought.
And this prayer really resonated with me because it talks about this yearning that I think we all have, this yearning for something more. And it connects that yearning with this desire to align our lives with something greater than ourselves.
Okay.
And it's not out of obligation. It's not like we have to do this.
Right.
It's out of a genuine longing for deeper meaning, for purpose.
So what does all this mean for you listening right now? Where do you see your time going? Where is your energy focused? What are your deepest desires?
Yeah.
And is that where you truly want your worship to go? I know this whole deep dive has definitely got me thinking.
Me too. I think it's a really powerful reminder that we're always making choices about what we're worshiping, even if we don't realize it.
Right.
And taking the time to really honestly examine our lives, our priorities, our motivations, it can be incredibly revealing.
Yeah.
And I think it can even lead us to a much more fulfilling path.
It's definitely some food for thought, right? Maybe this deep dive will spark some exciting new directions in your life too.
It could.
So until next time, keep diving.
Keep diving deep.
Bye.